Hyperbolic functions are functions that are defined in terms of exponential functions. They have several parallelisms with the trigonometric functions. Recall that the values of the trigonometric functions, cosine and sine, give us the coordinate of points on the unit circle x squared plus y squared equals 1. Analogously, the hyperbolic cosine and sine functions will give us the coordinates of the points on the unit hyperbola x squared minus y squared equals 1. For the trigonometric functions, t represents a central angle, while the hyperbolic function t over 2 represents the shaded area. Let us now define hyperbolic functions, starting with the hyperbolic sine and hyperbolic cosine. The hyperbolic sine function is defined for all real numbers by the equation hyperbolic sine of x equals e raised to x minus e raised to negative x over 2. While the hyperbolic cosine function is defined for all real numbers by the equation hyperbolic cosine of x is equal to e raised to x plus e raised to negative x over 2. The remaining four functions have definitions that are analogous to the definition of the trigonometric function. The hyperbolic tangent function is defined for all real numbers by the equation. So katulad lang din nung tangent x natin, this is the hyperbolic tangent of x is equal to hyperbolic sine x over hyperbolic cosine x. Or that is e raised to x minus e raised to negative x all over e raised to x plus e raised to negative x. Di ba originally kasi ito ay e raised to x minus e raised to negative x over 2 divided by e raised to x plus e raised to negative x over 2. Magka-cancel kasi yung 2 kaya ito na lang yung naiwan. On the other hand, the hyperbolic cotangent function is defined for all real numbers by the equation hyperbolic cotangent of x is equal to the hyperbolic cosine of x over the hyperbolic sine of x, or that is e raised to x plus e raised to negative x all over e raised to x minus e raised to negative x. The hyperbolic secant function is defined for all real numbers by the equation hyperbolic secant of x is equal to 1 over hyperbolic cosine of x, or that is so mababaliktad lang yung cosine x na so mababaliktad lang yung hyperbolic cosine x natin, magiging 2 over e raised to x plus e raised to negative x. And lastly, the hyperbolic cosecant function is defined for all real numbers by the equation hyperbolic cosecant of x is equal to 1 over hyperbolic sine of x. So nabaliktad lang din, magiging 2 over e raised to x minus e raised to negative x. To illustrate the definition, let's find the exact value of hyperbolic cosine of x. So for our solution, ano ba ang hyperbolic cosine? So we have hyperbolic cosine of x is equal to e raised to x plus e raised to negative x all over 2. So since ang hinahanap natin is hyperbolic cosine of 0, then we have e raised to 0 plus e raised to negative 0, which is 0 lang din yan, all over 2, or we now have 1 plus 1 over 2, so that is 2 over 2 or equal to 1. Let's find the exact value of hyperbolic sine of 0. So for our solution, we know that hyperbolic sine of x is equal to e raised to x minus e raised to negative x all over 2. So hyperbolic sine now of 0 is equal to e raised to 0 minus e raised to negative 0 over 2. So that is now equal to 1 minus 1 over 2 or 0 over 2. That is now equal to 0. For the exact value of the hyperbolic tangent of 1, we have hyperbolic tangent of x equals e raised to x minus e raised to negative x over e raised to x plus e raised to negative x. So that is now e raised to 1 minus e raised to negative 1 over e raised to 1 plus e raised to negative 1. And we know that e raised to 1 is just equal to e. E raised to negative 1 is the fraction 1 over e all over e plus 1 over e. Or that is equal to, okay, gawin lang nating similar fractions. So we have e squared minus 1 over e all over e squared plus 1 over e. So magka-cancel ito. The final answer now is e squared minus 1 all over e squared plus 1. For the hyperbolic cotangent of ln5, we have hyperbolic cotangent of x equals e raised to x plus e raised to negative x over e raised to x minus e raised to negative x. Therefore, hyperbolic cotangent of ln5 equals e raised to ln5 plus e raised to negative ln5 over e raised to ln5 minus e raised to negative ln5. Or that is e raised to ln5 plus 1 over, magiging fraction itong part na to kasi nga negative yung kanyang exponent. So, e raised to ln5 all over e raised to ln5 minus 1 over e raised to ln5. Recall ninyo, yung ating e raised to ln5, di ba kapag meron tayong ganyan, is just actually equal to 5, yung andito. Okay? So, e raised to ln5 is equal to 5 plus 1 over 5 minus 1 over 5. If we simplify that, that is equal to 26 over 5 all over 24 over 5. So magka-cancel ito. That is now equal to 26 over 24 and reduced to lowest term, that is 13 over 12. The exact value of hyperbolic secant of 0 is equal to hyperbolic secant of x equals 2 over e raised to x plus e raised to negative x. So hyperbolic secant of 0 now equals 2 over e raised to 0 plus e raised to negative 0. So that is 2 over 1 plus 1. Or that is equal to 2 over 2 equals 1. The hyperbolic cosecant of 2 is equal to, so we have hyperbolic cosecant of x equals 2 over e raised to x minus e raised to negative x. So the hyperbolic cosecant of 2 is equal to 2 over e raised to 2 minus e raised to negative 2. Or that is equal to 2 over e raised to 2 minus 1 over e squared. So kapag sinimplify natin ito, we will have 2 over e raised to 4 minus 1 all over e squared. So that is now equal to 2 over 1, okay, divided by e raised to 4 minus 1 over e squared. But we know that that is just equal to 2 times, mababaliktad ito, e raised to 2 over e raised to 4 minus 1. So the final answer now is 2 e squared all over e raised to 4 minus 1. Now, for the exact value of the hyperbolic tangent of 0, we have hyperbolic tan of x equals e raised to x minus e raised to negative x over e raised to x plus e raised to negative x. So hyperbolic tangent of 0 equals e raised to 0 minus e raised to negative 0 over e raised to 0 plus e raised to negative 0. that is 1 minus 1 over 1 plus 1, or 0 over 2, which is just equal to 0. The hyperbolic secant of 1, so we have hyperbolic secant of x equals 2 over e raised to x plus e raised to negative x. So hyperbolic secant of 1 now equals 2 over e raised to 1 plus e raised to negative 1. So we have 2 over e raised to 1 plus 1 over e. At pag sinimplify natin to, that is equal to 2 over e squared plus 1 over e. Or that is 2 divided by e squared plus 1 over e, or that is equal to 2 times e over e raised to 2 plus 1. Therefore, the final answer is 2e over e squared plus 1. And finally, the exact value of the sum of the hyperbolic cosine of ln7 and the hyperbolic sine of ln7. So let's recall that hyperbolic cosine of x is equal to e raised to x plus e raised to negative x over 2. And that the hyperbolic sine of x is equal to e raised to x minus e raised to negative x over 2. Therefore, hyperbolic cosine of ln7 is equal to e raised to ln7 plus e raised to negative ln7 all over 2 plus the hyperbolic sine of ln7 is e raised to ln7 minus e raised to negative ln7 over 2. So that is now equal to, okay, we know na itong part na to is just equal to 7. Plus, okay, so we have a negative here. So we have 1 over 7 divided by 2 plus 7 ulit, okay, minus, ito, negative kasi siya. So, 1 over 7 divided by 2. Simplifying that, we have, okay, 49 plus 1 over 7 divided by 2 plus 49 minus 1 over 7 divided by 2. So this one now equals 49 plus 1 over 7 times 1 half. Kaya magiging 50 over 14. While this one naman, we have 49 minus 1 over 7 times 1 half. Kaya that is 48 over 14. Therefore, we have 50 over 14 plus 48 over 14. So that is equal to 98 over 14, or simply that is equal to 7.